Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. If you're just joining us, you are on the Intentional Living series with Jummai Logun. I am Jummai Logun. This is our first episode, and today's theme is on affirmations, journaling, and goal setting. Right, the way we do all these things in order to improve our life 360. Today with me, I have Kemi Ogunkoya of Relics Works and Mutiatola K of Kiddies Digest. So let's begin. The purpose of Intentional Living series was that this year, the tribe of Skin Aesthetic, which we call the Healthy Glow tribe, Skin Aesthetic generally help people to achieve glowing healthy skin without compromise. So our focus is for you to be able to have a good skin, to be able to treat your skin of any skin condition in the right way without causing any further damage to your skin now and a compromise in the future. And we call anyone that is part of our community, part of what people call clients. We don't call our people clients as Skin Aesthetic. We call them the Healthy Glow tribe, because the common goal of all of us is to have an healthy glowing skin. And this year, we're very focused on our skin goal within the tribe. We all decided that we're going to set a goal that we're going to achieve. We're going to set a skin goal that we're going to achieve this year. This was very new to a lot of people. People have been setting goals. They've been setting general goals, life goals, business goals, relationship goals all their lives, but they've never had to set skin goals. So it looks as if we are bringing something new to them and they didn't understand how to do it, right? So it started with all of that. And because when you're on a journey to a good skin, especially for people with skin problems, and it might be a very tough thing, like to keep on with, especially if you have to have relapse and all of those things. And throughout this period, in the last 5 years that we've been treating African women all over the world, there's something that is common about everybody. Is you have to be consistent, you have to persevere through it, and you have to have an accountability somewhat for when the chips is down and you can't do it alone again, because those time comes. And for a while, within my team, we just thought of how this principle of achieving our dream skin like is similar to the principle of achieving anything in life. And that is how we came about skin goals. Like if people have a goal to have a particular type of skin or to visualize the particular kind of skin that they have, then it will make it easier for them to keep on going, even when the journey is really tough or is rough. So we started with the skin goals. And then through that skin goals, I being their accountability partner, some days is tough. We have to like encourage one another, tell one another about where we are going and all. So we started affirming. So we have an affirmation card within the LD Glow tribe that we say to one another, that we say to ourselves about our journey to our dream skin. And then we journal. And I just thought, why can't we bring all of this together as one? Skin goals, life goals, all the goals. Generally, these men and women are 360 women doing amazing stuffs in their industry. The only way we come together with them in Skin Aesthetic is, of course, the skin. But I've noticed that it goes beyond the skin. We do other things other than the skin. And every one of these people do amazing stuffs in other areas of their lives aside their skin. And because they were able to achieve this amazing results with every other areas of their life, being a parent, being a business leader, being a career leader, like pushing your career, being an amazing wife, friend, anything, making social impact. I feel like these people are doing amazing. So when they are reminded that the way you achieve one goal is the same way you achieve your skin goal. And that is how we started the Intentional Living series, where we bring different members of the Healthy Glow tribe to you guys to talk to you about their skin journey as well as their other 360 journey in life. So today I have with me Kemi Ogunkoya. Kemi Ogunkoya is a very powerful member of the Healthy Glow tribe. When we started 5 years ago, I think Kemi is one of the first 10 clients of Skin Aesthetic. I've been trying to remember what number Kemi is, but she's definitely one of the first 10 of the Skin Aesthetic Glow member. Until today, she's in our tribe. All right. So Kemi, I'm going to be reading her profile to you. Pretty impressive profile. And to be honest, this is like she sent this profile and it's very, very humble. It's short. And I know that this is not all of it, but then I'm still going to read it to you. And you all are going to see who we are having in our midst today. So Kemi Ogunkoya is a leadership development strategist, management consultant, author, and member of the Forbes Business Council. Did I say she's impressive? She has worked with numerous businesses across the world to develop the capability of their leaders. She's the founder of Reli's Works, a leadership development company, and also a member of the board of trustees of the Power Woman Network, which I am proudly a member. She is the author of the Go Mastery book. Yes, the Go Mastery workbook, which is the workbook that I use and a lot of our the Healthy Glow tribe members. The magical pills, the leadership guidance, and the dozen leadership model, right? She is married and blessed with 2 amazing children. All right, so I'll have Kemi Ogunkoya on the screen now. And then to the other phenomenal woman. Mutiat is the first paying client of Skin Aesthetic when we started in 2016. She's the first person that said, oh, I believe in this brand. I trust this brand, and I'm just going to pay you. Even when we didn't have any before and after now, a lot of people see the transformations and they come now. We did not have transformation. There's nothing to show that this is good, except she took her words for it, and she was the first paying client of Skin Aesthetic. She bought the very first product, and she was like, I used to tell people Skin Aesthetic is built on referral. Mutiat was our first cheerleader. She was just sharing the gospel of the brand around Lagos. So I'm going to read her profile now. Mutiat Olakuboke is a social entrepreneur, communication expert, publisher, writer, public speaker, educational consultant, coach, and teacher. Did I say we have the biggest fish in our tribe? All right. She runs Egress Media Concepts, a media company with a niche in education and self-development. Yes, 360 development. As the founder and managing director of Egress Media, she leads a small but highly effective team to achieve big goals as the editor-in-chief, publisher, Kiddies Digest, lead learning facilitator, Effective Learning Hub, the chief moderator, Junior Debates League, and Spelling Challenge, the convener, Muslima Speaks Tribe, and the curator, What Speech Day Kids Lagos. She is passionate about inspiring self-development in children and adults. As a public speaking and creative writing coach, she enjoys teaching and helping people discover and communicate their awesomeness to the world. We call her the Queen of Awesomeness. Mutiat is helping scores of people from across the world through our online courses and in partnership with other outfits, help dozens of people from across the world overcome fears and limiting beliefs. She's on a journey of awareness, mentally and spiritually. And being a social learner, Mutiat is passionate about sharing what she's learning about healing, tawakkul, and faith with people, particularly Muslim women, in a bid to help them find a balance with raising their voices excellently to the world and attaining Islam in worship. So let's have Mutiat on screen. Yay! You're welcome, both of you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us. Being the very first episode, so many people would not like to be brave and courageous like you guys. They want to join something when it's already really doing well. But when I approached the both of you that this is what we want to do. We want to bring the members of the tribe to talk about different things. You were the first, in fact, you both of you jumped at it immediately, that anything for skin aesthetic, and I am so proud and honored to have both of you here. So, fortunately, both of you are not just a member of the LD Glow tribe, you are also my personal friends. So, which makes this topic very, very important, because if we are bringing somebody to talk to the members of the tribe, these people have to be people living what they are talking about, living it in every area of their lives. And I for once knows that the both of you are living this life, the journey, the affirmation, and the goal setting. Most importantly, in the last 5 years, I have seen you guys done something that looks like a magic in your own life. Personally, like I've seen you come from here to, I don't even know, maybe to China, and it looks like it's an overnight success for both of you. But of course, the three of us here know that it wasn't overnight. It was a lot of work put into yourself, in fact, most importantly, into yourself, re-engineering your life, reprogramming your mind, right? And your mindset to be able to achieve where you are, both of you are right now. And it's been a privilege to be a part of that journey, to see how you transform not only your life, but the lives of other people around you. And that is why I want us to talk about this journey, the tools in terms of goal setting, journaling, and affirmations. So for anybody just joining, for us, I wanted to use the dictionary meaning of affirmation and goal setting and all of those things. And I thought, no, we are just going to say it as Nigerians so that you will understand it. So journaling generally is writing something down, something in your mind, like putting it down in a book. You could journal, like it's like you could journal writing and you could journal saying it out. It's not necessarily that you have to write it out. For some people, it's more therapeutic for them to say it. Other people, it's better for them to write it down. So journaling generally is putting something down so that you can go back to it in the future. Putting your mind down on anything. It could be anything, but you're saying it out. You are outputting it. You are not just thinking about it. Journaling is different from meditation, right? It's like when we were younger, when we had diaries that we used to keep from people, like, keep secrets from everyone. Only this time, we are not keeping secrets. We are talking about the things that bothers us in order to get clarity. We are talking about the things that excite us in order to learn from it, in order to energize ourselves. So basically, journaling is just a way to get clarity, right? And affirmations, I used to talk to people about affirmation like incantation, like in Yoruba, they'll say, "Eyan pofo." But in the real sense of it, that incantation is not to somebody else, but to yourself, Just like Yorubas, I don't know if every other tribe, they have like a traditional name, a cultural name that they use to like talk to you, to praise you. So it's like you are self-praising yourself. So an affirmation is self-praise. It's like self-talk, positive self-talk to yourself until you believe it. Some of these things you already have. Some of the other things you'll be saying to yourself are the things you want to be, or the things you are in the process of becoming. But saying it to yourself every time, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, until you start believing that you're actually truly beautiful. I am enough until you start believing it. And of course, there's nobody that is new to goal setting. For us to achieve anything in life, we have to first put it down and know that, okay, this is what I want to do, and then find the right tools to do it. So today I have with me the best people to talk about this. So I'm going to be asking you first, Kemi. I know you wrote the Go Mastery workbook, which I'm always in awe of. It's my workbook. It's my companion every day. I love the size of it because it fits into all of my bags, no matter how small they are. I can carry them around with me. I love the Go Mastery workbook. Every single time I use it, I feel like this is the gift I should give anybody. I shouldn't give you money. You don't need money. You just need to use this book and change the whole trajectory of your life, right? So please tell me, Kemi, how did you come about writing the goal setting mastery workbook? Have you been? Is it like you just started one day, like I want to write this book, or is part of what you have, like your own journey to? Is your journey that like informed that decision for you to write the goal mastery and workbook?
Okay, yeah. So probably I say it's a combo. So two things. So I've also been on that journey, like you said, that journey of growth, and we're all on that journey of growth. So for me, at that point in my life, I realized that I had a lot of big dreams. I had a lot of ideas. And in as much as I struggled in the area of clarity, sometimes I just knew I wanted to do so much. Yet I didn't. I would say at that point I didn't have that clear path as to how to navigate through these dreams. And sometimes the dreams in itself didn't have that level of clarity. So I struggled with that. And, at the point where I got into helping other people also achieve some level of clarity while on that journey, I realized that it wasn't a journey that was peculiar to just me. A lot of people were at different points in their lives where they had so much, they knew there was more to them, but then they didn't understand how to unlock it. Now, me getting to that point of greater level of clarity, reflecting and understanding, okay, so why exactly did it feel almost impossible to make that step back then? Then I realized that, what, a lot of people struggle with articulating their dreams, and then I went on that journey that some of the things I lacked was clarity on my dreams, understanding the concept of visualization, for example. I also understood that people didn't even know how to set goals, right? And that some of the things that I struggled with then was my inability to even believe in some of the goals that I set, right? And that's why going through the goal mastery workbook, for example, we even begin with alignment of purpose, right? Because I realized that a lot of people set goals that they have no business about, or any business with. Looking back, I saw that I had a lot of goals that I said that I had absolutely no business with, right? And then I set these huge goals and they start to become like a huge burden on the shoulders. So I saw that, a lot of people also do not get to achieve their goals because they set too many humongous goals that it becomes a huge burden and then they don't even know where to start from. I realized also that a lot of people do not even know how to follow through on the achievement of their goals, right? So going through my own journey of understanding, it was about, what, there are a lot of combinations of things that took me from point A to point B. If people understand the place of purpose and alignment, if they understand how to set goals, if they understand how their personality plays a key role in their ability to set goals and to achieve goals, if they're able to come up with a formula, a schedule, a system to help them not just talk about their goals or visualize goals, but then to also help them achieve their goals, activate their goals and be on that journey of achievement and manifestation of their goals, then it will absolutely make all the difference. So putting my own journey together, putting those pieces together, it became that foolproof, sound idea to help people go from that place of lack of clarity to help them go towards goal actualization and achievement.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Kemi. That
Thank
was
you.
so powerful. When I heard you were talking about goal alignment, setting goals that does not even you have no business with. For some reason, you're just setting goals that you don't understand your personality, and you don't know how to. So, is there a way? Is there a particular special way that you need to set goals? Like, is that something you need to learn before you can set goals, right? But before you answer that question, I wanted to also ask you about the clarity part. Are there other tools that we need to bring together? Like, if you don't have clarity, how do you now set goals? If you don't believe you can achieve the goal, what's the point of putting it down now? It's as if you're just suffering yourself. So are there some other things, other tools that we need to have before we can be able to set smart goals, so to say, like goals that we can actually achieve? And when if at this point we have those goals that we are not achieving, are there reasons why we are not, and what can we do about it?
Yeah, okay, all right. So that's a bumper, question like that, like
Yes.
4, 5 powerful questions in one. Well, great. So yes, clarity and the achievement of goals go hand in hand, because without great level of clarity, you will struggle to achieve goals. There's a particular quote that comes to mind for me, and it's by Yogi Berra. And Yogi Berra used to say this, that if you do not know where you're headed, you wind up somewhere else, right? And that's what happens when there's no clarity. But one key tool for clarity is self-awareness, right? Where you get to have a deep level of understanding and mastery about yourself. You understand your strengths, you understand your growth areas, which people call weaknesses. You understand your motivation, you understand your interest, you understand your passion. You're able to piece all of this together in such a way that it helps you have clarity about your personality, it helps you have clarity about what is important to you, it helps you have clarity about your interests. So, I talk to people and I say, okay, so what are the things you're interested in? Right? And then I hear things like, well, I don't even know. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I like, right? So if you don't know what you like, if you don't know what you're all about, then you will struggle to achieve great level of clarity. So yes, clarity is a key, component for the achievement of goals. But so is self-awareness a key tool for the achievement of goals. When people have more clarity about who they are, then they're able to also do exactly what they need to do. When people have clarity about who they are, they would not jump on a bandwagon, that, oh, so this person is doing this. Okay, let me do this. So you see that especially in the world that we live in today, which we call a VUCA world, and it's a world that is highly volatile, uncertain, it's complex, it's highly ambiguous. You have people just running around, just trying to make sense of the whole thing. And while you're trying to make sense of one thing, you have something else that just pops up, and then you're thinking, okay, so should I do A or should I do B? Should I do C? And why flexibility is a key, element, it's important that people actually get to that point where they can develop great clarity, have great focus about what is important to them, and then they're also able to stick to it. Sticking to it is also very, very important. But then that is dependent on your level of clarity about who you are, understanding that you're not on the race with any other person, you're not on a journey of impressing other people, you're not on a journey of pepper them. Rather, you're on a journey of achievement, you're on a journey of clarity, you're on a journey of purpose, and you understand that your purpose is totally different, your assignment is totally different. And to bring that assignment, to bring that purpose to fruition, you have to take responsibility for your actions and your inactions, and that would invariably help you deliver the results that you want to achieve.
Jummai, you're muted.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Kemi, for explaining that in details for us. Self-awareness is key. Very, very, very important in our journey to anything. We cannot just follow the crowd. We cannot follow what everybody is saying just because we do our own thing. All right, thank you, Kemi. I'll go to Mutiat now. Mutiat, thank you again for being here. I've seen you. You are muted, so you might want to unmute. All right. So
Thank you for
I've
having
seen
me.
you. Yeah, I've seen you deal with so many things, so many things that some people will deal with, and they won't be here right now. And apart from being a very highly self-aware person, which has helped you, but that our natural talents cannot just be the only thing. It's on developing this natural talent, leveraging on it, and maximizing it to help us. So how will you say that you've healed through your journey? Like, what are the things that you've done? Of course, I know you affirm, you journal. How did you start affirming? How did you start journaling? At what point did you start? Has it always been a part of your life? Did you grow up doing this? And how has it helped you through this journey of yours?
Okay, thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be here. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, very well, loud and clear. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. Uh, so for me, yes, I don't have the problem of goal setting that people have. I've always been very self-aware. I'm always a do person. Once my mind stick to it, I do. But then you know how life happens, and because I'm such a do person. I'm such a that kind of person. I thought that all I had to do was do the right thing. I was a good child. I'm a good girl. Just do the right thing, and every other thing will fall in place, and life will just align. And one of the hardest lessons that I learned on the journey here was that there is no formula to life, and the formula that I was given, the good girl, do everything, follow the rules, show up when you're supposed to, will not necessarily mean that your life will go according to plan. And the interesting thing is that I didn't necessarily have a plan. I didn't necessarily have a bigger picture of what I wanted for my life in certain areas, particularly in the areas that I'm struggling. I just assumed that it will happen. And then they didn't happen, and some of them and eventually it went from, okay, I will be patient. I know that perseverance is needed. I am going to apply my internal grit. I will be very gritty, very patient, very persevering. And still, that wasn't enough. I was still expecting life to happen to me in a different way. And halfway through it, a few years back, I realized that I didn't even have a picture of the life that I wanted to feature into. I just was going to be, like a toy soldier. This is what they told us to do. There was no picture. In those areas, there were things I wanted, the things that I had self awareness about. When I was graduating from uni, I was certain that I did not want to become a microbiologist. Then I went to serve for 1 year. I realized, no, I didn't want to be this. So I spent 1 year dedicated to building a vision of what I wanted to do as a career and developing my skill, and following all those goals. And that was the only area that I had clarity. And that was the only area that seemed to be working. Things were difficult, but I could see where it was going. On every other thing, everything was just all over the place and not turning out I thought. And I realized that was because I didn't have any vision. I didn't have any, I just assumed that that part would take care of itself. And the part that was working was the part that I was taking care of. So it became apparent for me to go back to, your own life drawing board. So even though I was very self-aware, I had to start another journey of awareness. And that started first and foremost with journaling. So when I started to journal about the experience and how I didn't like what was happening to me, in all honesty, I didn't even know that I could complain in my reflection that I didn't like it. I thought that to even be dissatisfied with the way life was happening to me, to want what other people were having, meant that I was jealous of them. It meant that I didn't think I had the audacity to rant to God and say, guy, okay, I'll start off. I don't like this. Like, this is not what I want. But the question is, what do you even want? I didn't even have a picture for it. So when I started to journal, affirmation came in. I started to realize that I was just really a I was just waking up every day and expecting no plan, no thing. I was just expecting a certain destination in my mind. I knew that where I was not satisfying, but I didn't particularly know where I wanted to be, who I wanted to be. So I was just doing the right thing as I was told. So I had to again start again. Who's Mutiat? Who does Mutiat want to be? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to attract? What kind of experience do I want for myself? Because life was actually happening to me, and I was allowing it because I had no picture. of who I wanted to be. And that's where the affirmation came in. So when I decided the year, and I always say that my gratitude journaling saved my life because I was on the brink of depression. Didn't talk to anyone about it because I didn't even know how to begin to say it. Everybody probably had an assumption of, oh, Mutiat is strong. She's this. I was strong, but I needed help. I was hurting deeply on the inside, and I didn't know how to begin to find healing. And one day, I was outside of the country and sitting on a beach somewhere, and I sat on that beach and I started to just reflect. Reflection came in. Where okay, so I know that where I am is not satisfying, but exactly where do I want to be? What is wrong with this space? And so I did a quick thing of, oh, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. And I think everything I didn't have was about three. And I'm like, okay, is that all? I've been hurting for about 2, 3 years because of just three things. So what did I have? And then I counted, I have this, I have this. I have one of the most, intentional parents of our generation. My parents are amazing people, awesome siblings, amazing friends. And I started to count all the things that I had. And I saw that the things I had were more than the things that were hurting me. And I told myself right there that if I get back to Nigeria, I will be very intentional about taking care of my mental health, about taking care of what I am internalizing. So I got back, I think that was October, I was back. And then by the end of that year, I was still back in that slump again. And I asked myself, what can I do to be a constant reminder to tell myself that yes, life is not happening exactly as I want, but some things are actually working. And the parts that are not working are not that plenty. Yes, they matter, but they are not so all of it. What if I die one day? I think, and that was it. What if I died today without ever having those things? Will my life be for nothing? And the answer was, it can't be. So what do I want my life to be? If by chance that I am not destined for any of this, what will Mutiat be? So I started to study people in history, people in the serial who had similar things. I'm like, how were these people able to live this life of impact despite missing this out? And there were so many options you could try. And I just decided I was going to try affirmation and journaling. And at that point, one of the things I was struggling with was that I thought that there had to be something wrong with me that had me struggling with interpersonal skills and certain things, or maybe I was not good enough, maybe I'm not, this enough and that enough. And I looked back, reflected back 20 years of my life, and realized that yes, I'm not perfect, but I'm not that bad. So I'm not perfect, but I'm not that bad. All of this is just accidental. And I decided the affirmation I was choosing was, I will continue to tell myself I am awesome. I am awesome. This is by God, from God. I am awesome. I will take responsibility for my own part and I will continue to grow, but I am awesome. I don't have to be perfect, even in my rawest state. I am still awesome. There is good in me. And because, of course, I have a magazine that is inspiring greatness. And one of the things we've been teaching over the years was, for every child, there is greatness in them. So for me, it was about saying that same thing to myself. There is greatness in me. There is goodness in me. And I may be lacking those things, but some of it may be my fault. But majority of it doesn't mean that I am not good enough. It doesn't mean that. And I had to say this to myself. And I consistently, in fact, I made a canvas, a frame canvas, and I put it at the door in my office. When I enter in the morning, I read it to myself. When I come out, I read it to myself, and I say it over and over. And the first thing I realized with the affirmation was that, usually people affirm in public and in private. And for me, for it to truly, it wasn't a case of I knew that I was awesome. I am aware of that. But I had issues with people around me making talk, where this, maybe that, maybe this. So it's like the whole world doesn't know that I am awesome. I need to tell them. Then I started to see some of the limiting beliefs that we had about affirmation, about compliments. And I realized that I was terrible at collecting compliments. When people gave me compliment, I always look like, if I let it enter my head, I will be arrogant. I will be proud. So I don't even used to take compliment to heart. And all the people who were actually saying good things to me, I was not internalizing it. The ones I was internalizing were the negative things. And I thought, wow. So what was I going to do? So I had to build the audacity to say it out loud to people that I am awesome. And I say it as audacity because at that point it was hard to even take compliment from people who was hard. So if you, for instance, like you go and say, "Oh, Mutiat is our first customer," I'm sitting here thinking, I am. How? When? It was always hard. And when you say things like, "Oh, my Mutiat is my smart friend," I'm looking at what's smart. So I had some imposter syndrome that on the inside that nobody saw. But I had a bragado. I will show up. You can see it. But on the inside, I'm still doubting that. So I had to say, you know what? I'm a social learner. My biggest problem is that I can't take it. I can't internalize positivity. So what I would do is that I will be chief in charge of announcing it to everyone that Muti is awesome. And when I started, a lot of people were in my inbox. So I started to journal publicly. And when I started to journal publicly, the first couple of days, people were like, "Are you dying? Which one is you are grateful for your parents? You are grateful." So I started to pick gratitude every day. I didn't lump everybody up. I was picking the first day my parents, because if I start with my father, my mom will go like Kilo Chele. If I start with my mom, so I put the two of them together, and then I took each of my siblings and started to do it. I had a whole year to do it, so I had time to pick everyone one by one, and that was how I started to say. And at the end of every gratitude challenge, I would also talk about myself and say, "Muti is awesome." It's not easy for someone to be awesome like this. At the first 3 months, I didn't even believe the words. I was just saying it and saying it and saying it. And for me, because external validation doesn't matter to me doing it for myself was the most healing part. It wasn't, if you told me I was awesome, I didn't believe you. I don't care about external validation. In a bid to make us confident, we were raised to not really care what people say, which is good when you're raising confidence. However, there was some downside of it that also came with some social conditioning, particularly being Yoruba and knowing how hard it is. Yoruba people are not very kind. They're not very quick to compliment because they don't want you to be arrogant. So all of that was very internalized. People would not first say you are kind or you're awesome because they don't want your head to swell. So if
Absolutely.
the few people who said it, I didn't even believe those people. So I had to say, you know what, I will be in charge of it. And I started to affirm publicly, and it takes a lot of bravery. I know when I do it now, I don't care anymore. Like I've gotten where I know that nothing will happen. But when I started, it was very odd, particularly because I mean, look at me, I wear the full hijab. You will say, "Oh, she's supposed to be very conservative," and then this conservative girl is saying, "I am awesome, and I don't care what you say," and people will come to say, "Assalamu alaikum," and somebody came and said, "Assalamu alaikum, Sister Mchet." It's not you that you'll be telling yourself you are awesome. It's people that will be telling you. And I looked at the person and I said, there's something my mom used to say in Yoruba. If nobody tells me I'm awesome, I am on the journey of reminding myself every day, consistently. And miraculously, it got to a point I actually started to act awesome. So not only was I believing it, I started to act awesome. I started to do things nicer to people. I started to be more intentional. So before, apparently, I was a good girl who does good things, but it wasn't intentional. I was just doing it. So sometimes I do something amazing for you in a very, very lackluster way that make you not even see the amazingness of it. But the moment I started to affirm and journal my gratitude, I became more in tune spiritually with my inside, with everything I was doing. I could sit down and realize, oh my God, something happened. And I would be able to connect why it happened. And sometimes I'll say, so this is why God delayed that thing 2 years ago, so that this will happen. And I became very intentional about the way that I related with people. I started to improve my listening skills. I started to see the ways that the rough edges that I needed to work on that didn't really let other people see my awesomeness. So the awesomeness was there, but the rough edges were plenty. And that's it. That's how powerful it was for me. And one day, for no reason, somebody looked at me and said, "Oh, Stamjat is always saying awesome, awesome." She's the queen of awesomeness. And for some reason, 3 years or 4 years on, everybody call me the queen of awesomeness now. And that's how it started.
And that's it. And now you are our queen, the crowned queen of awesomeness, right?
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much,
Thank you.
Mutiat, for sharing this. It's like I used to say within our circle, like vulnerability is a strength, right? And if we are not able to share our journey authentically, then what are we even living for? You are known to share your journey authentically, and doing that has not only helped other people, because I used to say that when we put ourselves out there, when we put in the work, it's the person that will get the reward the most is us. And you are
Mm.
like living the reward of this effort, of being vulnerable, of living authentically and living your truth. From everything you've said, what I could get from it is that life will always throw us curveballs. Like there's nothing we can do about it. While we are busy holding this ball, right? The other balls, we'll try to juggle every ball at different points, and then you just try to hold it. At one point, one ball is going down, and you're trying to catch it. Like, don't get that, don't fall down. Before you like it's a continuous journey. Like you already knows how to set goal, you're self-motivating, but then life happened, which now brought it to your knees, sort of, to seek God better, spirituality. And during spirituality, you started writing your thoughts out and then started saying your thoughts to yourself until you became that thought. And when you became it, it started pushing you forward to become better at who you are, and that's doing better at what you do. That's really, really beautiful. All right. Thank you, Mutiat, for that. So you will say your own journey was from goal setting to journaling to affirmation. So other people's goal could be from affirmation to journaling, then goal
Yeah.
setting. But I think it's still a circle, right? So those three is still is in a circle. So you can start journaling, goal setting, affirming. My next question is, do you think we can do one of this and not do the other? Or do you think one can stand, like can be very effectively independently on their own without the other?
Hmm. Okay. I don't think that they are independent of each other. They are always silently within each other. You may not just see it. So I am having a gratitude challenge every day, and I put an hashtag. I am a person of gratitude. That's an affirmation. So at the end of every time that, oh, we are people of Alhamdulillah, we are people of gratitude. And I repeat that every day. In that sense, that's an affirmation. In journaling the gratitude, I am affirming. In one of the things that the point is that for me to even begin to journal it, it's a goal. Even the journaling itself, like, oh, I'm going to journal my gratitude for 360 days. That's a goal. So I on self-awareness comes in, like Kemi said earlier, with I know myself. I need to be consistent. I need an accountability partner. As much as I don't need anybody on my neck, I also need something that makes me show up. I know myself that if I should commit, I will show up. So I thought, where is the best way to commit and show up? It was my WhatsApp status. Now, when I started, a lot of people probably like, oh, we're using it to, people come to tell me how I should write it, what I should do. And I tell them, excuse me, this is my journal. I'm only inviting you to take a peek into it. I know that this is social media, but this is my journal, and I decide who can see it and what you can say. Nobody should come and tell me how to write it. Nobody tell me they don't agree with why I'm grateful for my email address today. I'm grateful for it because I get to sit in my office in Keja and send my work to Surulere, and then a whole canvas comes in, and I don't have to leave my space. So I'm grateful for Gmail. Don't come and tell me, that's a flimsy thing to be grateful for. Is it your gratitude? So in setting that goal and holding myself accountable and finding a platform that I know will make me show up every day, it's form of self-awareness. You see motivation in it. There's goal setting because I'm sticking to it. And at the end of it, I close it with an affirmation. Even when I didn't necessarily sit down to say, oh, I want to apply the principle of goal setting, principle of journaling, and principle of affirmation. In fact, in the beginning, I didn't even know. I know what journaling was because I always write every day. I have to write. My brain is always full, so I have to put something down. I usually have at least 3 or 4 journals in my bag. When I don't have any journal in my bag, my head is telling me, hey, what if you get into trouble? Like today, I had 2 phones in my bag and there was no journal because I was rushing out of the house. I was like, how do I leave the house without any journal? And I thought, oh, there's this, I can write it on my phone. I have a notepad on the phone. But I felt like, I know, I need the book. I need the hard book. So because I'm always constantly doing that. But when I was starting the gratitude journal on my status, I didn't necessarily set out to say, oh, I want to apply the principles of journaling. It was afterwards that I realized that, oh, this is journaling. This also can be journaling. But I wanted to be consistent. And I know that if I tell people I am going on 360, I will keep up. And there are days when I usually do it first thing in the morning around 6. And there are days when maybe I had to leave the house early and I haven't written anything and I plan, oh, I'll do it on the go. In 3 4 months into it, some people will come to say, oh, you have not written your gratitude today. I hope you're all right. I look forward to it. You've really made me see good in the things around me. And it began to occur to me that, wait, you people were paying attention like that. And they became my accountability partner. And I think that by month 7, I was already fine. I was healed. I was already, you wake up one day, I can't particularly say which month or which week I woke up and I felt I'm all right now. I can't, because I was doing every day. And I just knew that one day I woke up and thought, okay, I'm all right. There's no pain here anymore. But at that point, I couldn't even stop because I wanted to do a whole year. But also, the audience had built, and people say, oh, I had a hard day. But every day I come to your status for this, for a dose of positivity, and the way you tell the stories and look back, the things I've taken for granted for my childhood, you bring it and relate it, and now I see the sense in it, and I'm like, I didn't even know it could be that impactful. So yes, I don't see you doing them separately. You may not outrightly say you are doing them, but they are intertwined in each other. They are intertwined in each other. You need all of it. Journaling in itself is that powerful and it encompasses everything. Now, why? But in some case, you may decide that at this point, I just want to affirm. I just want to affirm to myself every day, and I'm going to write it on the wall and affirm. I would say that yes, you can do that, particularly if you are not somebody who writes regularly. But I would also prefer that you do it along journaling. Why? Because sometimes the brain needs evidence to build competence and confidence. So if you journal, it's going to be, we call it for in soft skills, we call it a portfolio. So your journal is a portfolio of the progress you are making. And when you see your progress, when you take record, it's easier to see it. And when you see your progress, you'll be able to say, oh, this affirmation is working. So it makes it easier when you affirm and you journal together. It's a lot easier. And both of them are goals. So goal setting is going to be like the chief. They're all goals. I'm going to say this to myself every morning, is a goal. There's no small goal as long as it's something that you want to reach out for. However, when you do affirmation alone, it works. Yes, you do repeat it. But you see, depending on how you are and your level of self-motivation, you need to take record as a reminder. You know how life can be. One moment you're feeling on top of the world and you're like, yes, this is working. And then you wake up one morning and life throws a very big wrench at your plans and your mental health, and you're like, I don't even know if anything is working. If you had a journal, you could read through it and say, of course it is working. I felt this way, this other way. And it also helps you to take track of your healing. You are able
Absolutely.
to. So sometimes people come to me and say things like, oh, I just finished the self-awareness class, but I still do this, I still do that. And I ask them, and I'm having a low, for instance. Oh, I'm having a low. And I'm asking, when you had a high, what made you high? I don't know. How? That's what awareness is. I don't know. I can't even remember. If you had journaled that feeling, it is easier to go back and say, oh, it was because I watched a comedy on Netflix. And then you can try that and see if it works. Now, after months of journaling every high and every low, you'll be able to have a graph of, oh, these are the lows, and you can trace back when the low is. So truly, your affirmation will truly be, it will truly be profound if you mix it with journaling. I think that's that.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mutiat. It's Kemi.
Yes, please.
I miss seeing your face. All right. So, for you, has goal setting been the very major part of your life, or you've had to set goals with journaling and your affirmations? Which comes first? Which comes first for you?
So I'm not sure I can really say, in what sequence, because some have been able to integrate all those key areas of life. So yes, I journal, and yes, I also do affirmations, and affirmations are part of my daily practice, more of a ritual, if I can refer to it as that. I have my affirmations around me on my phone, in my office, on my bedside, in places where I probably will always see every day. So yes, I do affirmations, and then goal setting is also an integral part of my daily routine too. So for me, I believe that if you step out without it, without setting your goals in a day, you have pretty much set out to not achieve so much that you to actually fail. And as the saying goes that if you fail to plan, you actually plan to fail. And that's very, very, very true, because on days where I'm not very clear about what I want to achieve that day, where I did not take out time, to set my goals for the next day, I find out that I don't use my time as efficiently as the days where I actually have my goals. And goal setting in itself is a different, cascades. So I have goals for long term. I have my mid-term goals. I have my, short-term goals. I have my goals on the tactical level, my goals on the strategic level, and about the awareness of all of this. What plays a role now? What plays a role in the future? What do I need? What are the other things I need to do to achieve? To be, for example, those are the things that actually play a significant role in the achievement of this goal. But then it's not just doing one of those things. I begin my day with affirmation, but then before the day, it goes setting, right? So I don't set my goals in the morning. I set my goals before I step into that morning, so that even when I'm sleeping in my conscious mind, my mind is arranging things for me and helping me bring to life some of those goals that I have for the next day. So yes, goal setting is part of my everyday routine. Affirmation, I do that in the morning, and then journaling for me, I give that to the evening about bedtime where I'm doing my reflection, then I'm just writing about things that happened that course of the day.
Thank you so much, Kemi. So you still agree with the same thing Muti had said, that it's an integral part of one another. Like for you, yeah, for us to be able to like get better at setting our goals and achieving them, like pumping ourselves up to be the person. Daily reminder by ourselves to ourselves is very, very important. And daily reflections too, right? So thank you so much. Will you say that and either one of them, is that one you started first, or it's all came together for you at once? Because there's a time where we became aware of everything. There's some things that we've been doing, but we are not even aware that we do them until a certain time in our life that when we put a name to it, oh, this is what this thing is called. It is actually called affirmation. It is actually called journaling. At what point did you start doing each of this? At what point, or is this something you grew up with?
So I would say I grew up with it, in as much as I had different touch points um, as to affirmation. But what I would say is that, it became a part of me, at different points in life. Um, so at the time I went on my own journey, understanding this whole goal setting thing, because a lot of people undermine the system towards goal setting and goal achievement. Some people just think, I have a goal, I have an idea, and then let's make it happen. Right? But there's a goal system, and that's why a lot of people, the best of their goals haven't met, right? When they're dreaming about it, because they do nothing about it, and then it ends. So I would say that one really did come before the other. I think it was through that process of reflection and that journey of becoming a better version of myself, that journey of inquiry to, okay, where am I now? What do I need to do? Affirmation came in, on this journey, you're having to interact with different resources, different people, and, you know, you just get to learn different things at those different points. So I wouldn't say that, one came at a particular point, but I know that when I started goal setting, I knew that it was, important that all these other things were also consciously in my daily routine, right? So say for example, the goal mastery work, we start with a phase of reflection, right? Where you're first able to say, okay, where am I? Right? And when Lucia spoke, she spoke about the place of gratitude. Those are some of the things that you have to reflect on. What are you grateful for? Where are you? What's important to you? Those are the things that you have to be able to reflect on. And then you get to the point of being able to ascertain what your values are, right? What's important to you? The excellence, because a lot of people want to set goals without clearly establishing what their values are. There will be a misalignment, right? Because your values to a great extent also help you bring to light your goals. So having your values, and then from there, I'm confident about who I am. Then affirmation, can come in. But the sequence is totally different for everybody. It's about what do you feel is most important to you. Which do you think you can, go that level of consistency around? Some people they struggle because of some lack of awareness. They struggle to journal, right? For some people, it's even 8 p.m. Right? How would I be writing? What am I writing? Okay. So it's about getting to that point of awareness, understanding what's important, what works for you, and what you're able to consistently do as a system of practice.
Kemi, you're breaking up.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Not really. You're still cracking.
Mm. Probably it's the network then.
Yes, probably it's the network. I think it's better now. You're just frozen now.
Okay.
Brain is.
But I can hear you.
Yes. Okay, so you're still frozen. Oh, all right. Mutiat, all right, welcome back, Mutiat.
Thank you.
We are talking to Kemi about integration and how it's important to integrate these three tools together in order to achieve a personal greatness. And while you were talking before, you spoke about achieving very, very well in one area of your life which you have invested in. Kemi, please let us know when you're back. Thank you. All right, Kemi seems to be back. All right. So, um, Kemi, so let me go to Mutiat now and I'll get back to you, okay? Well, so we are sure that your network is good. And you made mention that you were doing really well in one area of your life, and then that was the area that was really flying. And the other ones, you just feel like because you're not paying so much attention to it. And I think basically that is life, because life is a juggle. Like most importantly, at that age where you just get to a level with everybody, this level that at different level you just realize that, oh, I've not been paying so much attention to this area of my life. And for other people it could be, oh, I've not been paying attention to my sexuality. For some is, I'm not social enough, I've not been going out. Like some other people is spiritualism. Okay, so at what point, what made you make that first payment at Skin Aesthetic to start a skin goal? Like, what made you feel like, oh, I deserve a beautiful skin now? Like, I need to start having a skin goal. I need to start setting, like, having this beautiful skin. How did that work for you? For some other people, they don't see it as anything. They see it as vain, like, "Ah, why should I try? Why should I start like telling people that now, so people will see me as now I am getting better at my skin. So people get used to terrible skin, and they believe that if they try to do something about it, it means that they are not the person that they used to be again. So how did
Yeah.
it, what, yes,
So for me,
how
it
did you
was
make
looking
that
at the mirror,
payment to say, because I know it wasn't even cheap,
payment.
to be honest, and then you say, oh Juma, I'm buying this, and you gave me the money.
Okay.
What informed that for you?
Okay, so it's two parts. The first part was, I mean, my best friend was starting a business. Who I don't pay, who will pay, you know?
Abby?
And at that point, for you, it wasn't just a business, it was a passion, it was new, it was as scary as it was exciting. And I must say, I really enjoyed looking at you. I enjoyed watching you do what you were doing. And because before that time you were on a journey of what did you want to do. But I must say that I just knew that this was it for you. And so the moment you got there, like it felt like you've hit a jackpot that you've been looking for. And after, I've watched you before that point, I've watched you for about 5 years of looking for that one thing that you wanted to fit in. And you see, I think that one of the things, so still talking about you, is two parts. So there's a personal part because there's no really true altruism. So there's a personal part, and it was two things because I needed it for myself. I needed it because I've been working Lagos. I mean, you started this thing what 2016 around, and I've been walking across Lagos with my leg in the sun. My skin was badly battered. I'm not even sure if I'd recovered the complexion that I had post
Oh,
uni or even so. I was darker than I looked. I'd
oh, I
lost a
think
lot
you
of
are,
weight.
Musiat. I think you are. Like
Okay, mashallah.
your
Yes,
glow
yes, I think
is
so.
mind blowing
Yeah,
now.
my
Yes,
glow
I
is
think you
back,
are.
and it's just soap and skin aesthetics, nothing more. Sunscreen and soap, baby soap, not any special soap. And I remember that I looked at the mirror one day and said, Kilele, who is this? I didn't recognize the person. So I knew that I needed something to get my skin back. And my skin, just my skin, I didn't need it for confidence per se. I didn't really care, but I needed the Mutiat back. It was important for me. I'd sacrificed. It felt as if you have sacrificed sweat and blood and skin. And I wanted that back because I don't think any job is worthy of me losing all of myself, including even the way I looked. So I needed that for myself. But why did I trust you? Because it was beautiful to watch you. At that point, you started with the zeal and the passion. And I thought it was easy to trust you because seeing you being so passionate, being so, I mean, you were not doing, I know a lot of people who started selling skin stuff at that time. You were very particular and meticulous about the results you wanted to get, even at the start. I know that the business has shaped differently since then, but the heart of your vision has always remained excellence. It has been quality. And yes, I've been your friend since uni, and I trust that Jummai is always the most meticulous person. I trust that she will not go and big nonsense. She will not experiment with my face. She will not even start until she's sure. So for me, the most part was it. I did it for you, and I could put my money on it because I saw the back end work. I saw all the things you invested personally. I saw the sacrifices you were making, and I thought if I'm going to vote on anyone, it is this. Not just because I love you with all my heart, but because it's not just love is not enough. I also want value, and I saw in you at the beginning the person who will bring value. And at that point too, it's a new business and everybody is still using their old cream and using their stuff. You at least needed one person in your corner, and it was easy to volunteer myself as that one person because I already saw that you could do it. There are people that sold soap, and I saw them like, give me a soap, and because they were just pouring anything inside the bucket. I'm like, no, I'm too. I have sensitive skin. I have sensitive everything, and I can't just put my skin or the food I eat or anything in my body on anyone. But I trusted you, and you gave me that beautiful cream that did well for my skin, and everybody was shouting, wow, what is this? And it wasn't about experimenting, it just worked, mashallah. So yes, that's it. That was why I trusted you. And I'm not even sure I paid you the money immediately. So this one you're saying I'm the first person to pay. I'm sure that you probably called me like 3 or 4 times before I gave you the money. So thank you for this beautiful vision, and thank you for the work you've been doing. Thank you for my skin.
Yes, thank you so much for trusting me. Even at the point where I didn't skin aesthetic wasn't even a brand then. It was just me and my big passion, like running up and down in Lagos and trying to find clarity. And yes, you being the first person that bought the product was really a big confidence booster. Like having your own people say, "Oh, you don't know the product." Like I will keep telling the brands that we bring to Nigeria, each one of them, because we don't bring popular brands. We are not about the trends and what people will buy, rather than the safety of the product. The product must be safe for our consumer, and it must drive results. So if it's not safe and it's not driving results, it's not us. So most of the times it's difficult to find these two combinations together, safe and result driven, but most importantly, something that can be personalized for each person, not one size fits all. That okay, if Kemi comes to me, I'm giving Kemi the same thing I'm giving Mutiat, I'm giving Mutiat the same thing. No, it has to be personalized because no two skins are the same. So nobody usually knows this brand. We will be the first person to be brave enough to bring them, and I was the first person. We were the first person, and you trusted us with it. And I am super grateful. You did that for me. But over the years, you have been coming back. You have been coming back. You are still
Because
a
it
tribe
works.
member till today. How do you keep up with that skin goal? Like, I used to say that the way we do one thing is the way we do the other thing. Has it ever been difficult for you at one point that I say, oh, I bet this skin should just sit down? Because of course it's a lot of commitment to have beautiful skin. It's a lot of commitment. It's discipline to keep up with your routine, and patience to get to where you're going. I'm sure you didn't get to this skin today. You were first dark forehead, because I could remember your first skin consultation. You
My
were first
forehead
dark,
used to be very dark,
very
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 dark,
dark and all.
very dark.
But
It used to be
see you
very dark.
now. How did you put
See,
that commitment?
even
Was it
from
easy for you to keep up with it, or was it difficult at some point and you wanted to give up?
oh, it
Did you
was
feel like
easy. Keep well. I am not the. I think that I must say that I was responsible for the way my skin was terrible because I didn't used to pay attention. I have good skin, so because my skin was good and it took care of itself, I usually take it for granted. And so, by the time you got battered and all the people who would naturally take care of them or get on your neck to take care of it were not there anymore, I spoilt it, and then you realize that okay, I need to be more responsible with the things I took for granted, and it was also part of my own eating journey. I have taken things for granted because they come easy, because they are there. But I think I was most responsible for coming back to skin aesthetics and being consistent with the regimen. Is that the regimen is simple, it is simple. It is not hard. It is not. I don't. Like I'm watching. I'm also watching a lot of videos on skin, and people are putting like 20 things on their faces to clean this, to add this, and I'm like, no, that's not for me. And I remember somebody telling me, oh, they have someone who's creating some stuff. And I'm like, okay, can they get me something to do? And then they brought like 5 different things. For what now? I only just want to moisturize my face and put SPF. Why do I need all of this? So for me, why I keep coming back is that even the simplest regime works, the simplest one. So for somebody like me, I just need moisturizing and sunscreen. And even the sunscreen that you sell is moisturizing on its own. So I felt like I didn't, for someone who's it's not even conservative, I'm just lazy. I don't need all the plenty, plenty, plenty things. But also, I wash my face in the evening, I wash it the next day. I put sunscreen and I'm good to go. And then the sunscreen looks good on my skin. And I'm like, wait, is this foundation or sunscreen? And there was a day I did a picture to say, this is just the sun and sunscreen. And so it's the simplicity for me. It's simple. And I think that it comes from the fact that you are quite honest about it. You are not trying to put so many unnecessary things just to make money, or you've really simplified it. That's it for me, just the simplicity. For somebody like I am not used to putting anything. I don't wear makeup, I don't have the kinika of pulling, so I just want it the simpler the better, and I get that. with the products that I buy. I don't even need to buy all the things in the range. And I also like the fact that you are very professional about it. You don't just look at my face and say, oh, Muti, this is what you want. You actually do an assessment, check the skin, and give tailor made something that works for me. And that's amazing. I mean, it's not something you get when you walk into a cosmetic shop and they just look at you and like make a guess your skin is probably oily in this T zone. Can you go? You were actually looking, you actually you paid attention to what I needed. And it wasn't, you know how sometimes we feel unheard by the people that by our vendors, you are telling them this and then they're saying this. You didn't do that. You were very, very attentive to my needs and what I needed. And despite the fact that we're friends, you didn't take any part of it for granted. And that's important. So I am very, very, very allergic, for instance. I'm very sensitive, probably point 0.4 sensitive. And then I'm talking to somebody about how I'm allergic to pineapple and I'm allergic to watermelon. I don't want anything, any scrub with apples. And then they're telling me, this thing works for everybody now. Why is it not going to work for you? This is that, a normal person. And even though I don't get offended by that kind of prejudice, I just felt it is unprofessional on their part. I just told you that I am allergic to pollens in watermelon and apples, and then you are still insisting that this thing worked for the last person. So it really used to annoy me, and I never got that from you. You checked it, you took into consideration my allergies, and you gave me something very simple that worked for me, and it is still working. Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
Mutiat. So it's all about commitment. Finding a reason to commit, just like our goals too. Finding a reason to commit. Kemi, so it's your turn now. I'm gonna ask about your skin goals. Hey, Kemi is freezing again.
You can hear me?
Yes, can you hear me, Kemi?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So it's easy for you to set goals. You are a master at setting goals now. And of course, I know you're a 360-degree master, goal setter, and achiever. You've set goals in every area of your life. You're not just focusing on your career. You're not just focusing on business. You're not just focusing on the children. You're not just focusing on your marriage. You're focusing on everything. I'm sure you're setting goals as much as me in your mind. Like, oh, what do I want to achieve with Jummai this year as my friend? So, and I remember at the beginning of this year, you set a goal. You set a skin goal, right? Like, I want to achieve this. How has it been for you? Is it different from the way you achieve the other goals, or is it the same way? Achieving the skin goal, is it the same way as achieving any other goal that you set?
Okay. So for the skin goals, I think that we begin with the premise of goal setting and the 360 component to goal setting. But then when it also comes to goals, and that's the beauty of accountability systems, right? So I know that when Kotiak was talking earlier, he said that for journaling, for affirmations, our gratitude challenge, that she puts it all out there, and people that engage with those contents become her accountability partners in some way, right? So for my skin goals to have set rules and somehow based on my interpretation and understanding of my skin or how my skin has worked in the past, right? It was pretty much there's no big thing to this big thing. You wash your face and then you're good to go.
You just applied it to.
Sometimes because I think for me going through high school, secondary school is pretty much being just cream and go. But then, I got to meet you and then my understanding of my skin totally changed. I would say that I've been the best in that department of skin foods. Because sometimes I find myself, oh yeah, I'm doing this thing,
You're high.
if you want, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not this rub cream in the morning and do all of this in the afternoon and all of that. But is it totally different from how we set other goals? No, right? Because for any goal that we set, it's about commitment. Remember that when I spoke earlier, I said we need to understand quite a lot of other things around goal setting, which is our interest, passion, motivation, but also our ideologies towards certain things. Because our ideology, in a way, can be the cog in the wheel. So I think for me, the ideology has always been around, just sleep and wake up, watch your face, and then you're good to go. But then as we come to the realization of more things around our body management, food management, what you consume, how it impacts your body, how it affects your skin, you know, also get to the point of understanding of the effects of our action and our inactions of the future definitely brings us to that place of awareness. So for me, I won't say that I've been the best in the skill department, right? But then one thing about goal setting is that when you have a system around it, it constantly takes you to that place of reflection where you go on that journey and you're like, okay, how am I doing? How am I faring? Am I doing great in this area? What do I need to do moving forward? So if I struggle with this, what accountability system? And when I say accountability system, it's not really about me calling you, Jummai, to say, oh, Skinner, you guys need to call me in the morning, afternoon, or night. It could be a system I want to put in place. Is it that I'm, you know, scheduling in my calendar? Is it that I'm having a friend that we're on the same journey together to say, okay, so at the end of well, send me a picture, let me know you know your routine, just do yes and all of that. So yes, I'm still on that journey for the skin goal. But definitely it's a journey that has helped me see a lot of improvements, in my skin. I used to have a lot of dark patches. In fact, I was this close to saying holes in my face, right? But a lot of pigmentation and really large pores, but being on that journey, which I haven't been totally consistent on, it's really a journey of growth. And like I always say that having that system of accountability makes all the difference. But then our mindset, mindset is very, very key.
Thank you so much, Kemi. And of course, I totally agree with you. Really totally agree with you on the mindset part, because if we don't change our mind about what we want or the way we see something, it's no matter the amount of goals, no matter the amount of tools we have in our arsenal to achieve those goals, it just doesn't matter. At some point I remember saying this to myself, that sometimes we don't need to ask God to give us more, because I think we already have everything we need within us. We need to beg Him to help us open our eyes and help us, teach us how to use what we already have. Like, teach us, God, teach me how to use everything I have to the best of my advantage, right? So it's about changing our mindset, and you cannot say it better about accountability partner. Like, you have to have someone in every area of your life, either calling you every time to ask, have you done this thing? Did you do what you said you will do? They could be irritating sometimes, like, I know that there are some prime members that will be here today, like, Jummai can call for Africa. Like, they will even stop responding to me sometimes. And maybe in another 4 weeks is when they are, oh, Jummai, sorry, I didn't respond. Oh, it's okay, ma. Are you sure on track? Are you doing your stuff and everything? So the place of an accountability person in every area of our lives can never be underestimated. So it still boils down to the commitment to keep going. Thank you so much, Kemi Tiat. If there's one word of affirmations that you think comes to you every single time, like for everybody is different. The words I affirm, I'm sure, is different from the words that you affirm, because our journeys are quite different. Even though I'm friends to you, I'm friends with Mutiat, we have a lot of things in common, but we also have so many different things. Our journey is quite unique to us. So just the way your skin is unique to you, and Mutiat's skin is unique to her. Mutiat is talking about having just a simple routine. So Mutiat's routine is basically just 4 steps. She cleanses, she moisturizes, and she protects her skin. In fact, 3 steps. She cleanses, moisturizes, and protects her skin, which is the basic maintenance step because she doesn't have any issues with her skin. Her skin is quite balanced, except that time once in a lifetime. I mean, once upon a time that she had the melasma on her forehead. But your journey is quite different. You have more than Mutiat. I think you have a 4-step routine that you follow. So, what is that thing in your own journey, that one affirmation that always keeps coming to you, that you never get tired of saying, and it reminds you? I know Mutia said is awesome. She needs to believe that she's awesome. For you, Kemi, what did you need to believe at some point, and you kept saying it to yourself till you believed it?
That I'm a doer, right? I'm a doer. That's one affirmation that is very,
Kemi,
very
please, could you come again? You were cracking when
okay.
you said
Okay,
that.
that I am a doer. I'm a doer. And for that, around me, there's something I always have, that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. And so I'm able to push my mind towards incredible things, because I truly believe that a lot of times it's not the resources that even hold us back, it's our level of resources there. So saying, how can we make things happen? How can we make things work? So for me, it's about being a doer. And when I put my mind to something, I just need to be able to think about it, right? And I will bring it to life. And that's how much I just believe in the power of the mind. And when it also comes to goal setting, having that mindset of accomplishment, or get to that point where you can say, you know what, when I put my mind on things, I can do it. Absolutely makes the difference. So when it comes to any task, right, I'm someone that when I envision it, the energy just gets supplied, provided it's aligned with my purpose, it's aligned with my journey, and then I can see a possible future I'm on, right? And for this, it also helps me cascade that same level of energy to those around me, to believe in the power of possibility, to believe in the manifestation of their dreams. That when you set a goal, right, a goal that you have set smartly, a goal that is in alignment with who you are, in alignment with your purpose, in alignment with your mandate, you can bring it to that. So I'm a doer, really. If anybody around me knows, right, that I don't do well with impossibility.
Thank you so much, Kemi. Thank you so much. So, Mutiat, for you, you started like um, journaling awareness pretty much in your 20s, right? Right. So for someone, because why did we start all of this? I started saying my affirmations every day. I think I put Kemi's Go Mastery book online, and the journaling parts, and I talk about it, and people started messaging me like, how do they do that? How do you journal? How do you? And to me, I can never believe that it is a question anybody will ask. I've journaled since the beginning of my life. Like I have known, I learned that from my dad. I see him write and write. I think that man should have a book by now. I don't know why he's not having one, right? I should remind him again. So I didn't know that it isn't a given for people to journal. I didn't know
Yeah.
it isn't a given for people to set goals. I mean, I've been setting goals all my life. My children have been setting goals all their life. So I didn't understand when people adults started messaging me and I started responding back. Oh, so how do you do this? It's what informed me that, okay, I can't even teach this alone, to be honest. I have a lot of women in our network, within our tribe, that I have experienced that their beautiful life, the way they put their efforts into different efforts into their life. Yes, I might not be able to relate with some of those things, other people should be able to. So you started journaling late, as opposed to me that started like as if I was born into it. What can you say to people out there on how to start? How do you start? Do you just start writing? Because people, I think most times when we talk to people, they just don't understand. Like you said, I should journal. How do I start? How do I start doing it? And what are the benefits of them, to benefit that they will gain from it, to make them continue to do it?
Okay. Well, I I wouldn't say that I started journaling late. However, I've been writing my whole life. I write every day consistently. Writing was very, very important to me. I started writing at 6 and started writing my stories at 8. So for me, one of the things I always say is that teaching people self motivation is hard for me because I'm very motivated. But then we had to learn. How do you start journaling? I'm not even going to complicate this thing for you. Get a book, a very beautiful one. So a very, very beautiful one, depending on what you want. So this looks unbeautiful because it has been consistently used. Let me look for something very pretty. This is nice. This is still waiting to be used. So I already have my 2022 journal already. Uh, a couple of people sent all of this journal to me because they know that I like to write. And so it's as simple as getting a book. And this journal doesn't have anything here. This is just plain. And I think that one of the things that makes certain things difficult for us, particularly our generation, is that many of us were raised by parents who were micromanagers. They manage micromanagers. The educational system was even is it was okay, let's use was even terrible. We were raised to just do, follow this and do, follow this and do. So most times when we want to start something new, particularly a concept that is new for us, we're always looking for a formula. There's no formula to journaling your thought. So in my teens and my early 20s and uni, I used to journal my thoughts in poems. And I used to journal it in, as a child, I used to journal my thoughts in songs. I still do now. I'm that kind of person that breaks up into a song and make everything into a song. That's how I used to take note of it because that's how I will remember. I could also be because I'm a social learner, so engaging with people is always important to me. So when I make up a song, I look for an excuse to sing it for you. But get a beautiful book, and I always say a beautiful journal, a beautiful one, because when it is beautiful, you want to open it. So get a beautiful book like this with this used to be beautiful. It's still beautiful my own face because all these are map of what we have been through together. And do whatever you want. Write. Just write. Just write. Write it anyhow. The best part of a journal is that I don't have the most beautiful handwriting in the world. Nobody is judging me for how terrible my handwriting is. And interestingly, the last letter I wrote to my dad when he was leaving the country, okay, I was sending something to him, and then I decided to put a quick note of how much we miss him and we can't wait for him to come back home. And my dad told me, "Oh, your handwriting has gotten better. There was one ugly book that you were writing stuff in, maybe when you were in secondary school, and look at how fine it is." I don't think my handwriting is beautiful, but because, like I said, a journal is like a portfolio. So my father probably remembers that terrible handwriting I used to have and then compare it with my long T's. So now it can compare. Now, even though I have forgotten where I used to come from, having somebody tell me, Muti, and I fine, made me feel like, oh, then I looked back and saw that, yes, in truth, it has gotten better. So, of course, that's one advantage of it. But get a book. There's some book. I have a gratitude journal that somebody sent to me from the UK that actually had the prompt. So every day it has date, it has prompt, and every day, what am I grateful for? What are my reflection of spirituality and all of that? It's there. And for people who need prompts, because like I was saying, we were raised by parents who micromanaged us, who told us what to do. So subconsciously, many of us cannot work with a plain paper. We need somebody to tell us how to do it, what to do it. And there are a lot of options for that. You will find a lot of options for that. We made this for our the women in our network this year. I decided I wanted to support a few women in my network. And so we kept talking about journaling, and nobody knew what to do. So we made a journal that had prompts for them. I just had this because why not? I had to have it. I was the one who designed and made it up. But I don't necessarily need the prompts because I like to just journal whatever comes to mind because there's no formula to it. And it makes it easy. You can write whatever you want. But if you need a prompt, if you're somebody who needs prompts, there are options out there. There are options. You can even go online and check a 30-day journaling prompts. I particularly would like you to just write it as it comes, because it really helps you to really take charge of what is going on. When you have a prompt, it guides you. What prompts do, particularly prompts that you find online or you find in a book, what they do is that they guide you to build the skill. If you are using it for healing, it doesn't have to have a pattern unless you are in a class where you are guided through the healing circle of whoever my healing circle is different, so I could take you through it and let you. Even in my healing circle, you still have to do your own thing. We still have to let you journal it freely, because in that self-expression, in that haphazardly mistaking, the way you make the mistake and you just say whatever comes to mind, is the growth that you need, is what you need to just let out. If I say, oh, today you must say gratitude challenge, for instance, today you must be grateful for the bottle of water you've drunk in life. What if that's not what your spirit wants to connect with? What if that's not the most profound thing for you that day? So I would rather have you just get a plain sheet of paper and write anything. The journal I had in 2017, I called it the Book of Rant, because that year was my year of rant. I was ranting and ranting. So I got that plain book and I wrote the Book of Rant. I'm not going to rant in public again. I will not rant to my friends again. I've become toxic with my rants. And every day, it was a very small book. So, okay, it's here. A very small book, so it could fit into any purse. So here, this is my Book of Rants. Very, very small, and it fits into anything. So, and I liked that it had a clip, and it felt like my secrets are safe. This thing so far, look at how it's looking. So I would open if I'm in traffic and my life is frustrating my life, I release with writing. I use writing to release. So I just open the next page, write the date, and then rant inside it. One of the things I was going through it earlier this year, and I laughed at something that I did one day. The only thing I wrote was, please, 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 God, please, please, please. And I wrote please from beginning to end, because I got to that point where I would say, hey, John now, please, please, please. I was frustrated that day. And when I read it this year, I couldn't particularly remember what could be so frustrating, like the 100 or 200 pieces of piece. I closed the book and then got up and life continued. So it's really simple. Get something nice, something that you connected with. When I bought this, I connected with just this thing, this clip here, that I could close it. And it felt like nobody will open it. No, my secret is safe. My rant is safe. That was all I connected with. And then when I got there was one I got because the book was pretty. So get something that works for you. I got one that had a doodling. I could doodle on it. That was my 2018 journal. And when I was bored or when my mind is driving me crazy, I just get my colored pencil and I'm doodling in the journal. And I wrote all my ideas there and I wrote it as it came. So there's no formula to it. But if you know yourself and you know that you're somebody who needs to be micromanaged, it's not a bad thing yet, but you do need to unlearn it in order to get your goals done. However, if you feel like you need someone to show you, you always need to have a prompt, because writing is not easy for all of us. Then get one that has prompts. Otherwise, just take a plain book and write whatever comes to mind. Write however life is frustrating you. When I used to write my life frustrations in poems, I just used to write it in poem. I will write it. When I admired my friend, I wrote it in peacock. When everybody was leaving uni and I wanted to express that in my journal, I wrote a song titled Let Us All Be Friends Forever. Are we still friends forever? No, but I always remember the song, and I remember the release I got from writing that song. It gave me hope to know that at least my friends, I make promise that no matter how life happens, we always show up for each other. We are still showing up for each other one way or the other, and it felt like I visualized that
Right, this.
with that journaling, and it wasn't an essay, it was a song. So you could do whatever you want, however it works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. My perspective, the way life is happening to me is different, but the principle is simple. Get a book, get a pen, and show up every day and write something. Now, another thing is to also know when what time works for you. For me, when I had to be consistent, early morning works for me. So I wake up at 4:30 every day and I sit down. Even so, yes, we have a prayer that we say at that time. But even days when I don't pray, I just sit like today. I didn't pray. I just sat down on my bed and did my daily reflection. So at the end of the reflection, whatever lesson I have, I either write it in my journal or I share it on my status. And that's my routine practically every day. And people would ask me, how do you come up with ideas endlessly? Because I know me. I cannot show up to journal at 12 p.m. It won't work. I'm either in traffic or somewhere. But early mornings work for me. So I choose early mornings. So for people who say I never find time, there is time. For you, it could be before bed. For me, it's usually from 4:30 to 6 a.m. That's my alone time with my spirituality, with my journaling, with my reflection, and I take notes at that time. Whatever I want to put in my journal, I come up with it at that time. Sometimes I don't get to write them down at that time, but they are in my head, and I'm like, I must put this down. And I find during the day, if I don't write it immediately, I find a time to do it. I always go along with my journal anyway. So I have three types of journal. This is my spirituality journal. This is my trading journal.
Okay, Mutiat,
I have
Mutiat.
a work
Leave my
journal.
leave them
Work
alone.
to-
You are a
Thank
guru
you.
at journaling. Somebody is already asking, can any book be used as a journal? Please don't let us overwhelm them and
No,
everything like
yes, any
like
book can be used.
yes,
Any book can be used, but please don't use any book. Don't use one ugly jotter. That one day you are fighting with the person in front of the jotter and you're like me, they like it and you throw away. Please find a dedicated book.
yes,
And that's what I started with. Find a fine book that you connect with personally, that is your own. Don't go to a wedding and collect one jotter or a burial and collect one face of one mama that you don't particularly like and you start journaling with, because this is very spiritual and it's very personal, and it also triggers your mood. You pick one journal that you just woke up and say talili and you throw the book away, maybe because I'm like that anyway. And I think that a lot of us are like that, we just don't know. Go out and say, Mufe, I want to go and buy a journal. Go and buy a dedicated journal. Find something that you connect with. If you are a black and white person, go look for something that is black and white. If you're somebody like me that likes colors, I don't really like plain white page, so go look for something that works for you. Don't just pick any journal. Otherwise, you won't keep up. You won't keep up. Find something that you can order and say, this is mine. And you can put in a special corner in your bag or in your reflecting corner. Not any, no, don't use ugly journal or notebook. That's
thank
it.
you so much, Mutiat. Thank
Welcome.
you so much.
Karen
Like
Bigoyo.
I was going to say it like you can have journals for different things. You can have journals for financial journals where you write your money, your money aspirations and wants every single day. You can have spiritual journals and everything. But if you are just starting out, one journal is enough to write all of these things at once. Like you can even be setting your daily goals inside this one journal. So it's not like you have something in your head to write or anything. It's just anything that comes to mind. And like Mutiat said that when something comes up for her, because a journal is like a roadmap to your growth. So you cannot be able to start a journal if you are not ready to start growing, like having a daily growth. Be committed to your own daily growth. And daily growth is quite simple. It's just being open-minded to grow. It doesn't necessarily matter that you have to pick a book every day and read something. It's open yourself up to growth, learning from every experience of life, connecting deeply more than the next person, like looking at something with a different eye, seeing it like, what can I learn today? So you are driving in traffic, something is teaching you something is springing up an idea within you, and you want to write it. And of course we know how this thing just you know, as if there's like something is telling you something right now, you need to write it. If you don't have a journal, for example, with you, or you can't write, you can just pick your phone, see that what's that voice memo in on my phone, that thing I seen when, like, I'll just pick it up, people in traffic, because I'm always in traffic, especially at one point in my life, I'm always talking to my phone. Then one day I forgot that I had a driver in the car, and I was talking to my phone, and he actually parked and said, Madam, sure, well, all right. Like, oh my God. Oh, I totally forgot that I have someone else with me. So it's just a documentation of your thoughts, of your mind. If you're afraid somebody is going to read it, because that is also a factor. You haven't grown to this point where you feel like, oh, if somebody should read my journal, I cannot be bothered, because that person you read about, if I wrote a journal yesterday and I wrote an experience that I didn't like, or wrote something about myself, that person is in the past. I probably moved on from that person. I'm probably not that person anymore, or I'm in the process of being a better person. So it doesn't even matter. Or you read one of my ideas that I want to do and you're thinking you can do it, please go ahead and do it. I don't believe anybody can do anything like anyone. You can do it before me and I can do it before you. We are going to bring ourselves into it and do it the way we want to do it. So no, you necessarily do not have need to, because I was never a very like routine kind of person. Why I have routine, I want to do things, I'm very structured. I love flexibility too. You cannot, my spirit is quite rebellious. I'm just learning to like tame that spirit, like we have to be like this is the way the world is working. But I'm able to tame my spirit, because I am self-aware about myself. I'm not going to take who I'm not into who I am. So I don't, like, for example, I don't journal consistently every 6 a.m. in the morning. No. If life happens to me 6 a.m., I'm going to journal some other time. So if you're just starting, please, no force, nothing, no pressure, just start. If you journal today, you cannot do tomorrow, please. The day that your spirit is gingering you to have that experience again, or is pushing you to have that experience, because once you learn to journal, once you start journaling, it's just like life starts happening differently. Especially when you start going back to this documentation of who you used to be, and you're looking like, oh, I wrote this, I did this. And that's how there was a time I thought, why do we even post on social media safe? Eh? Like, it's easy enough so I struggle with that balance of, do I want to be private, or should I am worried sometimes that am I too not out there, like am I telling my private life too much, right? And then some days when I look down back on my social media history and I go like, oh my God, I wrote this, I did this. It gives me the energy and the confidence to believe that, oh, this is me, and it's improved my self-worth. My personal worth to myself just improved immediately. So it's just documenting. Say it to your phone, say it to your book. Do it anyhow you want. Just make sure that it's something that you can go back to. And just like Mutiat and Kemi have said, it cannot be something that you don't like, or is not you, or is not aligning to the person that you are. Me, I love beautiful things. So I cannot be caught up with a non-beautiful journal. Even when I was much younger and I couldn't afford the kind of journals I'm buying now, it has to be beautiful somewhere, because it's only when it's beautiful, and it is not only beautiful so this is one of my journal. It's not only beautiful on the outside, it has to, if you have been writing for long, you understand that papers are different. The papers has to be sleek for me, and that's it. So any journal, any book, just make sure that it's a book that you want to write in. It's a book that will not go and be tearing after a while, because the purpose of journal is for growth. Is a roadmap of your growth of your life. So you want to go back there and see it some other times, see some of your ideas, be able to go back on it and see where you are now as against where you're coming from, or some things that you've written in the past that you do not remember to do, or you did not even think you are now, and it just reminds you generally about it. So thank you, everyone. Olaide Alade, I hope we answered your question. Please just start anyhow. Be flexible with yourself. No pressure. Just do you. Affirmations too. It doesn't have to be anything like big deal. You can even just start like, I am enough. Like, that is my own affirmation, because I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be done a certain way. If not that, I am even learning to just like focus on excellence more than perfection. This series won't start because I will want it to be perfect. I want to make sure that it is so perfect and everything. And I just realized that it puts so much pressure on you. So every single time I remind myself that, Jummai, you are enough. You do enough. You have enough. You are enough. I have it enough. I have everything enough. Everything I need to do, anything. I have it enough. I am enough and I am doing enough. And that's simply it. You can start with your names and start calling yourself like, my name is Jummai. I start with J is joyful, U is unstoppable. So journaling affirmation is just that. And you don't have to do it every day. Start first and take it from wherever it takes you, because it's going to take you in different places, and it doesn't have to be like Kemi's zone or Mutia's zone or Jummai's zone or the way we said it today. It doesn't have to be in our own journey at all. Just is a tool. What the way we use the tool is personal. Goal setting, affirmation, and journaling are two. There are three personal tools for us. It's us that can use it the way we want. And remember that you cannot be perfect at it at once. It may not make sense the first year, the second year. It might take the third year, but we just have to keep doing it. And remember, when you achieve one area, because we always do well in one area of our life, there's one area that is going to be amazing. I always remind myself that the same way I am doing very well in that area, it's the same way I can apply the same principle, the same me with the same principle. And that is where journaling is good for you, because you can understand the principle you've used in that area and you can totally take it to the next area of your life to do better, including your skin struggle. There's nobody cannot achieve beautiful, healthy skin. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll have seen me with very terrible skin. It takes commitment. Like Kemi Amutia says, commitment and discipline and patience. Most importantly, we have to be patient through our own process in anything, either skin goals, either life goals, business goals, mother goals, wife, spouse's goals, any goal. We just have to be patient and take our own unique journey as our own. We should own our journey and not somebody else's own. So thank you so much, Kemi Amutiat. If you could just come back to the screen and tell our listener like their parting message. What do you have? Your last words for them before we close up for tonight.
So I think I would say that insights without actions will always be useless. So you said quite a lot, and then it's just been okay, let me listen and then go. Nothing is really going to change. There's a prayer that we take responsibility for our actions, and then we start to do whatever it takes. Always goal setting, journaling, and affirmation are things that we can absolutely achieve. We can achieve our deadline. I, I'm testament to that. And I think just like Jeff spoke about your journey through skin aesthetic, just seeing how an after concept, right, can come to life and then it puts me everything. Not because there are no obstacles, not because there are no obstacles, but then we believe in the picture, we believe in the mandate, in our purpose, we believe in our sourcefulness, right? And we know that whatever we put our minds to will work. So keep pushing, turn those insights into action, never stop the journey. The journaling is beautiful. Yeah, but I love journals too. And I have this journal that when Lucia was talking about the work that we really front. So I started with this kind of journal. But at some point I realized that I wanted to express myself in my own way, and then I started using other journals. So I like this one because like you have to something you love. And also because you type things like a sacred, material. If I ask me, when I finish, I type, and then I bundle it, and then I got it in my bag. But it's very handy, and then when I write it, I can always come back to it, and I just I just want to pour my mind in it. I just want to pour. I just want to express myself and just come alive. So yes, we're not talking about things that we don't do, right? We're not talking about things that we don't do. We're actually talking about things that would help achieve great results in any area of life, any
Yeah.
area of life. I absolutely believe in you and that I'm sharing you. Thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Thank you. Okay. Uh, okay, so you probably call me next. So my own one word, my own last word is that here's the truth. The answers are inside us. The answers you're looking for is inside you. And I think that one of the most profound statement that I learned about self-awareness and getting all of the answers from within me was something very old Aristotle quote that says the knowledge of self is the beginning of all wisdom. And that's where you start from. And we talked about self-awareness and self-awareness. I don't know what you're looking for in your life. I don't know how life is happening to you and the answers you're seeking. We're always seeking answers. But the answers that will heal you, the ones that will be effective for you, are already within us. Like I believe that we were created with our problems and the antidote alongside us. Like every problem life will throw at us, the antidote have already been handed to us. If we just need to do the work. If you go to therapy, nobody's going to give you any answer. The therapist is going to ask you the questions and lead you. Like literally, what we do in therapy is lead you to finding the answers. And that's something you must know. And journaling is one of the effective ways to get the answers there. Because our brain is taking in over 2 million things at the same time, it may not it only focus on the things that we are intentional about. And a great deal of time, our brain will naturally take focus on negativity 5 times before it focus on positivity. So the positive answers you're looking for are already there. You just need to help your brain redirect it. And journaling does that. I also found particularly journaling your gratitude very, very powerful. And it is, if you're looking for, oh, I don't know what to be journaling, start with gratitude. Just every day, wake up and pick up something to be grateful for and write one long epistle on why you're grateful for that thing. If you can't write long epistle, write a paragraph, write a sentence, start from somewhere. But the answers you're seeking are already within you. Because no matter what you find, if it doesn't align with the purpose that you already have, it will still not work for you. It will not work. It's until you finally get to that point where you find something that aligns with you that you can now say, wow. So people, I remember that one of our friends, one of the common friends that we both have, Jummai and I, always say, Muti, you don't understand how amazing, how lucky you are that you found your purpose right after like that. So I found that all of us, people that I see a lot of people on Lagos, on the roads of Lagos, and I'm thinking that because I'm still a stronger entrepreneur, it means that they are doing better than you. You are doing a lot better than all of us. You already know what you want to do. So you are struggling on it. Success will eventually come. Many of us don't even know what we want to do and we're still struggling. And at the end of the day, like I said of Jummai, she continued to look for the answers, look. By the time she got to skin aesthetics, I was not shocked. I don't know if she remember. I looked at her and said, Jummai, do you remember how you used to be in uni? Every time Jummai sees anyone, the first thing she comments about was the skin. That's the first thing. She was always particular about skin. And she goes, oh, your skin is nice. I can't remember one particular person. She stopped the person and the lady was shocked. Like, your skin is nice. Oh, I think I can't, she was very dark skin and she did have very nice skin. And that's what you might always compliment. And so when she said she wanted to do skin aesthetics, I was like, why are you shocked? You've always been a fan of skins. And here we are. So it means that the answers have always been there. The answers have always been there. Life just throws us around and eventually we'll find the answers. Many people don't find the answers. It's quite unfortunate. Many people don't. And the truth is that it's not the reason they don't find it is as simple. We're not intentional, we're not looking back, we're not reflecting. And journaling, affirming, setting goals are ways to get those answers from ourselves. I mean, I pray that you find your answers and that they work for you and they are exactly what you need to grow at this point of your life. All the best from us to you. Thank you very much, Jummai, for having me. I'm really honored. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Kemia Mutiat. Thank you so much. I wouldn't have done this if not for both of you. So thank you for being a part of my tribe, and I don't even mean the skin aesthetic tribe now, like my personal tribe. And I used to say that it's a different things when your friends are your friends, but then when your friends believe so much in your brand and they are not just clapping for you, cheering you on, but they buy it. They don't only buy it, they show the world they use it, and they tell people to come. So you are a living testament of the LD Glow tribe. Both of you still committed to your skin goals, still committed to supporting and impacting. There's no how I will look at each and every one, both I will look at the both of you and I will not be inspired to do better because you're doing so well in every area of your life. All right, thank you so much. It's been an honor being a part of your Elder Skin journey and being a part of your life. Thank you for coming, and I love you and see you again. Thank you everyone for coming. It's our first series and I could see a lot of comments. I am so excited to have you here. I'm honored to be here talking to all of you. And I hope to see you guys again when we post another intentional living series. I promise that it will be really impactful. It will be something you can relate with. It won't just be skin, because we are deeper than our skin. And that's what I tell the members of our tribe when it gets tough with our skin journey. We are deeper than our skin. The skin is just one part of our lives. We also have every other part that is really amazing. And when we have the skin struggles, it doesn't mean the other part that we are master at is irrelevant. No, we are not going to let our skin struggle or any struggle in our life define us, because we are not those struggles. There was a time some other things were our struggles, but we've mastered it now. We're going to master our skin too. We're going to master our life. We're going to master our children. We're going to master our spouses. We're going to master our parents. We're going to master the world at large, and we're going to make the impact you're supposed to make. So have a beautiful week, people, and know that I am rooting for you. Thank you all. Bye.